oftentimes the loudest person in the room may not necessarily be the smartest person in the room. And if you're a smart person, if you're sharp, you're good in a particular area or niche, it is actually important, I think, to have a certain amount of confidence. But there's a thin line between confidence and arrogance. So on a live that we did where we were watching the township do their thing and all this drama happen, someone asked, yo, DFD, would you actually represent Tiffany Henyard? And I specifically said I would not represent Tiffany Henyard for three big reasons. These are the three biggest reasons that an attorney will decline to take on someone as a client. Number one, it's a possibility that she is not going to pay me. It's just, hey, we've heard talks related to her financial situation, her spending. There's an eviction going on currently. So rule number one, you got to make sure you pay your board. Rule number two is you have to be able to listen. You have to be able to listen to the guidance that I give you and follow through with it. That's the only way that I can give you effective representation, and the only way that I can make sure you don't damage your interest in your case, because it's not my case, because I'm going home at the end of the day. The only way I can make sure you don't damage your interest in the case is once I give you counsel, you have to listen to that counsel as to not potentially disclose something that could be incriminating or say something that could potentially make your trial, make your case more difficult for us to defend. And the third thing is you have to know how to shut up. Once I give you guidance, once an attorney gives you guidance, the number one thing to do is be quiet. So with that being said, let's take a look at this video. I want to give y'all a little context of what's going on. There's Gospel Fest. Gospel Fest is apparently an event that they wanted to have for the community that the board had voted on in years previous. However, today in this video, the vote is coming up again. And essentially, Tiffany Henyard is having issues and can't understand why we have to vote again for Gospel Fest when we already voted for Gospel Fest a couple of years ago. She reaches to her attorney for counsel, the attorney whose job is to make sure they're doing things by the book. And I want y'all to see how this interaction go, because we have to talk about it. And if you get some value out of this content, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment. Let's get it.
Is there a motion to approve the Gospel Fest? Is there a motion? I'll motion to approve the Gospel Fest. Is there a second? Is there a second? No second? All right, so I'm gonna talk about Gospel Fest. So we approved Gospel Fest so I can educate. That's why I was saying, let me educate y'all. So let me educate everybody, since everybody don't understand what goes on around.
The arrogance. Let me educate everybody, since everybody don't understand what's going on. So this is a clear indicator that she thinks she is the smartest person in the room, and she's the one who's actually giving education to everyone else. But what we'll soon see is she the one who either ignores the rules or has no idea or clue what the rules are, or probably a little bit of both.
So let me educate everybody, since everybody don't understand what goes on around here. We approved Gospel Fest on August 24th of 2023. We had every single person up here, which is shocking. Even Chris Gonzalez voted for Gospel Fest. Look at that. So Gospel Fest was supposed to happen, but unfortunately we had a storm. That's when we had to call FEMA out, and we had to change directions of what we had planned. It was already planned. It was already approved, budget for, checks cut, all of them, right? So we stopped because the people needed us more, and we had to make sure we made a way, and we created a FEMA shelter in the village of Dalton at the new police station, and then we also did one here in this same very space. And that's the reason why we did not have the Gospel Fest. So what bothers me is, why do we have to put something that's already approved by the board back on the agenda for a second approval? Because remember, they didn't pass the budget. We're still working out of the same budget that the Gospel Fest was approved. So why is it back on the agenda for approval when you guys already approved it? Like I said, on August, what did I just say, 24th? So why do we have to do that, attorney?
All right, so Gospel Fest approved in 2023. Now they're back asking for approval again. She's going livid and she's educating everyone right now. And keep in mind, the attorney did not say anything. The attorney was not going to say anything. I highly doubt, I've never seen the attorney unilaterally intervene during discussions. Most times, y'all let me know in the comments. Y'all probably watched it more than I have, but most times the attorney intervenes when he is prompted with a question or a comment. He was specifically asked a question. Had she not asked the attorney, I don't think he unilaterally would have given this information.
It's my understanding these events are being presented pursuant to the new event ordinance that was approved.
Okay, so if we already approved, then we don't have to reapprove it, correct?
Okay, he said it clearly. I think everybody in the room got it with the exception of her. It's my understanding that we have to approve the event because there is a new event ordinance that we passed. So since we passed a new event ordinance, that event ordinance, it supersedes all of the previous stuff we did. So we have to approve this Gospel Fest over. She still doesn't understand and doesn't get it. The exact response was, so we already approved it, so we don't have to approve it again, correct?
If the event was approved on August 24th of 2023, we don't have to reapprove?
Reprove. I don't know. I make mistakes when speaking sometimes too. But she's saying that they don't have to reprove it.
No, what I said was these events are being presented to the board in compliance with the new event ordinance. That's my understanding.
I like how I said no. What I said was that's attorney speak and people who are frustrated speak with. If you listen and pay attention to what the hell I'm saying.
So it's new? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, the new event ordinance that was just put into place at one of the prior meetings within the past month or so.
Right, so, okay, I just want to make sure we're crystal clear so they understand and I understand in the crowd.
Now, she just said she was going to educate us because people didn't know what's going on. And she's clearly the one that doesn't know what the hell is going on. Now she's saying, hey, I just want to make sure everybody understand and I understand.
So by this already being approved in the old budget, it's safe to say it's already approved. I don't have to go back again before the board, correct?
This is actually, this dude, she getting on this dude's last nerve because he answered this question 2 times. There's actually no way that he can say it that's, I don't know, less complex than what he's already said. She just refuses to accept the answer because the answer is not what she wants to hear. And that's absolutely crazy, but it's also consistent with her pattern of rogueness and a complete lack of recognition for the rules, policies, and processes that she has to follow.
No, these matters are being brought before the board now to comply with the new event ordinance because these are events that have to be approved pursuant to the new event ordinance.
Right.
I wish we could see his face from behind that beam right now because I know it's one of actual utter disgust and frustration.
But only time that you have to go forward is when you put in something new. And then whatever from that day, moving forward is what you go from. So if this was already approved prior to, it should not be affected by what's new.
Now, again, I don't know. I think we looked up Tiffany Henyard's LinkedIn and it appears she went to a university. I can't recall which one. But now she's questioning the attorney on the interpretation of the rules that the board has to follow, as if she has studied in the jurisprudence of municipality law. This is actually ridiculous. And this goes to my 3 points. She probably won't pay you if you represent her. She's damn sure not going to listen. And the other thing is, like we're seeing right now, she's not going to shut up. She does not know how to shut up. He explained to you that you were wrong 1, 2, 3 times, and you are still arguing a position that's an incorrect position. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
It's already approved, like I said, prior to. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but I disagree.
That made me laugh when I first saw it. Shout out to him for trying to maintain professionalism, but I bet his face behind that pillar right there is just has the look of this person is a buffoon.
Event ordinance takes precedence because of these misunderstandings place.
Now, everybody is clapping. The reason everybody is clapping, I don't know this for certain, is because everybody else in the room who she thought that she was educating, they understood after the first, maybe the second time that the attorney explained it. But right now, he's on his fourth explanation. And if I could superimpose a question mark over her head and a confused face, I would, because she has no clue. She still has no clue. It's just an absolute mess.
These events have to be approved pursuant to the event ordinance.
Okay, so I disagree with what the lawyer was saying. So
I disagree with what the lawyer is saying. So now she's disagreeing with what the lawyer is saying. She's putting it on the record. And this laugh right here is a laugh that you have a facial expression. You ever do something that's stupid, and then when you realize it was stupid, you kind of laugh and just like, yeah, man. Yeah. You try to make slight of the moment, but now she thought she was educating everybody else. He educated her, and she proved to everyone that not only is she not the smartest person in the room, she could be, in fact, the dumbest person in the room, because I feel like everybody clapped because everybody understood the attorney's explanation after the first or second time. She didn't understand it after the fourth time, and she's disagreeing with it as if she's an expert.
I put this on there because I just want to point out what we do. We go back and forth over who agree, who disagree, and then it goes a little further. When we disagree, we go out of our comfort here, and that's how we end up in court. Because we want to say, hey, if a board approves something, how can now the board come back and say it's not approved based off of the orders? The orders just went into effect now. It's like when somebody try to go take something from you.
This is absolutely insane and egotistical and ridiculous. It's a complete lack of regard for the person who probably has the best subject matter expertise. Now she's still trying to explain why her wrong ass position is right. And she's trying to kind of laugh it off and play it off. But all she's doing, in my opinion, is making herself look even more ridiculous. It's absolutely insane.
They make it effective now. They can't go backwards. But right now, they're saying we're going backwards. Impossible. Just like with bills. It's bills that they approved already. That last board meeting, you heard them read off the whole list from all the way from Father's Day. To me, that's impossible. You approved it all the way back then. How is you coming here now saying, oh, well, we're not going to approve it now? It's already spent. It's already gone. It's already back then. So I disagree with what he's saying. And that's my statement. Now,
that was absolutely insane. She disagreed with what he said, not based on any law or anything in writing, just because she doesn't think it makes sense, or she doesn't think it's right, or she just doesn't give a damn about what the actual process and procedure is that the board has an obligation to follow. So, there's always a benefit to being confident with regard to what it is you do, but don't let your confidence cross into arrogance. And even worse, don't let your confidence cross into fake arrogance that's not founded in anything that you actually are knowledgeable about. The other thing, too, is let's just keep it a buck. Let's just think from a common sense standpoint. You knew that the Gospel Fest discussion was on the agenda before you got there. This dude is sitting right beside you. I feel fairly confident you've seen this dude beforehand. Y'all probably came in this damn meeting together. You could have asked him your question beforehand to completely avoid looking like an idiot, but you just didn't. You just failed to do so because you thought you were going to bring it up at the meeting and have a I got you moment, and it really made you look like an ignoramus. It's absolutely hilarious. It's pitiful. Never would be my client because I'm not getting paid. She doesn't listen, and she doesn't know how to be quiet, even when she's wrong, which is a big problem. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, check out the content on the screen. There's going to be more content related to finance and attorney reactions.